welcome back to Deep Magic. I'm so happy to be able to bring this to you as a epilogue to that very dramatic finale for everyone. I'm excited to have Steffi back playing Laurel for us. As you all know who have watched the season so far, we have some problems, so it's going to be great to try and sort them out. Anyways, I'm going to let her introduce herself, and we're going to get started.
Hi, I'm Steffi. I'm a freelancer for several RPG companies, including Onyx Pact Publishing and Green Ronin and Angry Hamster Publishing and Modifius. And I am one of the writers on the player guide and other books, the Freehold Guide for Changeling the Dreaming. So I'm super excited to be here.
We love her, and we love people who love Changeling. So here we are.
Exactly.
Anyways, where Laurel was left off, she had been contacted by her agent, Unknown, that he had been in contact with our Motley and that they had been somewhat reluctant to return with the cup to her. She had authorized him to do what he needed to bring them back, possibly with a little more kindness to our Fiona lady in the party, but other than that, bring the cup, bring the Motley. She has not received any further notification from that time forward. I'm going to ask you as we get started, because this is merely one problem that is going on in your realm at the moment. You have returned to Carefrost, which is the seat of your power.
Yes.
Here. Your son is still missing. Your son's friend is still missing.
Yes.
And you are still getting reports of freeholds going dark over your entire realm. What have you been doing during this time?
So I want to send one trusted agent to find my son. And Madad, as far as I know, is with the Motley, right? And Serini has eyes on them.
Yes.
Okay, so that's delegated. And I want to delegate the son thing, but as a queen it behooves me to go after the darkened freeholds, because that is my duty. I've sworn to protect the Kingdom of Frost, and something is threatening it, so I want to find out what it is and I want to fix it.
Okay.
That is the one I'm going to tackle personally.
They are sporadic all over your kingdom. It's not like everything in British Columbia is dark or everything in Quebec is dark. It's more like they're failing at a more rapid rate than they would normally do so. You have had supplicants come to you with these things. The Dukes are doing what they can to do that, but it also has put a higher burden on the freeholds that are still producing glamour within their balefires, because they have more people to take care of. You have been able to you have had success getting certain balefires started again, but it takes a lot of glamour that you may or may not be able to afford if they keep going dark, even when you manage to get them going. So far, it's been mostly the smaller ones. The larger freeholds have been able to manage their problems as they have more people to manage their problems with.
Yes, exactly. Is there any pattern or rhyme or reason to who goes dark when? Is there? Do I have a slua who could point me to the next one?
You do have a slua who could point you to the next one. The one you would be familiar with, her name is Annette. She's usually around to ask, that you can ask questions of her. Her knowledge so far is that there's no rhyme or reason geographically to the freeholds that go dark, but there are some similar rumors that come out of them. Usually that the freehold owner turns unseelie and starts enacting the darker part of the fairy stories that they align with.
Okay. Are these people who I would go, oh yeah, that makes sense, or people that make me go, they're not unseelie?
The most recent one was a small farm outside in Saskatchewan, which is close to, well, I hesitate to say anything in Canada is close to itself, but it's in the province that Carefrost is in. you were aware that it was a generational farm, had a close alignment to the Jack and the Beanstalk story. The farmer in charge of that was a Boggin, not particularly inclined to dark impulses of any kind. They did have a golden goose. Or more precisely, they had golden eggs until they had a golden goose. And when the golden goose appeared, everything seemed to go to shit. And then the freehold went dark. Also, nobody's heard from Mr. J, or Jacques as his name actually is, for quite some time.
Okay. Do I have any seers who could point me to the... Because I would like to... I'm feeling like I'm playing catch-up, and I don't like playing catch-up. I would like to be at the freehold when it happens.
Okay.
But that means I would need to know where it happens next. Barring that, I'm probably going to go for the golden goose.
Okay. Laurel definitely has access to pretty much any type of art that exists, so you're just going to put out a call for somebody who is good at Fusei. There's probably someone within your court who can actually do that for you. So I will give you a court here. I will probably give the... Actually, let's give...
Annette might be able to.
Annette's not good.
Not her thing.
Not good at that. She is good at whispers and rumors. She's good at chicanery to some extent. She can do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Decent at managing pukas and stuff like that as well.
That's handy.
Exactly. However, I think what you have, because it ties into what we're doing, is I think you actually have a member of House Beaumain in your court.
Okay.
Admittedly, sort of suspicious, because all Beaumain is suspicious because of their obsession with iron, but this one seems relatively chill. His name is... Gotta give him something good. Let's go with Alaric.
Alaric, okay. I go visit him in the, no doubt, creepy tower. Probably it's a tower that he lives in.
Yes, he definitely does have a tower. It is weird. It is not so much creepy as Slua get creepy, or nor as Redcap get creepy. It's more like it's a combination between a hunting lodge and a wizard's tower, and it's just vaguely off all the time. It has heads of things on the walls. In the dreaming, some of them are redcaps, so it's a little, ooh, we're real proud of the things we hunted down, aren't we?
Yes. Like, darling, I don't keep up with all this politically correct stuff, but are you supposed to be mounting people?
He's like, well, you know, when they go off the reservation.
Pretty sure that's not politically correct.
He goes, I never promised that.
Okay. Anyway, I go visit him.
Okay. Anyways, he is...
or actually, I summon him. I'm the queen. He can come to me. Thank you.
True facts. He will absolutely attend upon you in Carefrost. He's that kind of summoning he would never disobey. He mostly likes to stick to himself or on his hunting.
Yeah, I'd probably give him a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
But, you know, when I need him, I need him.
Okay. He shows up. He is a relatively small man, even by, like, she standards. Kind of unassuming looking. A faint brown skin, light eyes. Debatable whether it's tanning or he's just naturally that color, that kind of Italian brown skin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He bows before you and says, my queen, it's becoming more common that you have need of my services.
Yes. Well, I do hope you enjoy the freedoms and luxuries you get in return.
Always. I would never disrespect you by not enjoying all your gifts to me.
Well, Lord Alaric, I have a problem. I'm sure you've heard of the freeholds that go dark.
He says, yes, I have had more than one omen of them, but because it has been so broad a problem, I can't disentangle them easily.
I would like you to focus very hard and tell me where and when the next one will go dark.
He says, I can definitely try for that, my lady. It may take me several turns. Not every prophecy is intensely useful. Had one which had just Sleeping Beauty. I just watched the entire story of Sleeping Beauty. It was not helpful.
No, I suppose not.
Anyways, he says, I will. Is there any way we could attempt to find something from one of the freeholds that have gone dark since?
Well, one of them had a goose.
Yes, that could be convenient. It's simply much easier to gain prophecy from something that has already been touched by what you're looking for.
Okay. Try without, and if that doesn't work, we'll fetch the goose.
Excellent. So he's going to do augury for you. He has a set of runes that he pulls from a small leather bag that he sees the future with. Every bowman in your experience has a slightly different method of doing this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I have to roll two sets of these things. He says, I see a wolf, but whatever that is, it has already passed. I see white hair, and I don't know what that means. I see the darkness of feathers, but seems to be attached to the white hair. He says, I see a lake. Given our current predicament, I would suggest Lake Huron.
Right. What's the disturbance out of character at Lake Huron currently?
It's the portal beneath the lake.
That thing. Okay. And do I know any white-haired ladies connected to the murder court?
Actually, if you wanted to roll your lore here,
Yep.
do intelligence and lore.
Yeah.
And you can.
I am going to roll online.
That's fine. Not a problem.
Okay.
And you should have almost max dots and pretty much everything.
Okay. Actually, this isn't working. I'm going to grab some dice because they're right over there. Hold on.
No problem.
Okay. Now, what's my difficulty?
It should. Even for you, this is an 8.
1, 2, 4, 6.
Okay. You are not familiar with anything that is tied to the murder court, and you've had a great deal of experience with them. However, it sounds a lot like the iconography of the Morgan.
Of course, yeah. Okay. Do we have any inclination what court we would think she is? Seelie or unseelie? Because I know what I would think, but I don't know what Long would
It's
think.
not a helpful question, because some of the progenitors of the Tuatha De Danann were not really certain if they actually existed or just stories from Arcadia.
Yeah, true.
She would definitely be have an unseelie touch to her.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Do I currently have anyone hands-on at that lake?
It is harder at the lake. The major freehold around Lake Huron is owned by General Siri, one of the leaders of the Autumn Rebels.
Yes. Okay.
And while the merfolk are titularly your subjects, they tend to prefer to be left alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to get to them, I would have to get past Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I have any spies in her camp?
Yes. You have a Selkie named Ondine who goes back and forth between them.
Okay. Have the Autumn Rebels caught on that there's something off with the lake?
Yes, definitively. But the merfolk have been as intransigent with them as they are with you.
Okay. So the problem is, if I offer her a truce, I acknowledge that she is a thing that I require to have a truce with.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm instead going to do is do we have any back channels who could offer a truce without offering it?
Sadly, the normal answer to this would be yes. But with your suspicions about the murder court being what they are.
No. Yes.
Right.
Okay. Ooh, that one is difficult. I'm going to push that one down the road.
You are actually going to get a message. How would you prefer to get messages from your subjects that are currently not at Carefrost?
Probably via letter,
Okay.
unless, of course, it's a secret. And then I assume there are methods like speaking through mirrors or omens appearing in my cup.
You receive a letter at this point. It is from Squire Zarini, one of your pages.
Mm-hmm.
Bows at the door and says, "My lady, I am so sorry to disturb this private audience, but this letter came in marked as urgent."
Okay, thank you. I read it.
It's from Squire Zarini. It states that your agent, unknown, entered the freehold of the Marquis Elena and the Marquis Vitus and never emerged again. It also states that there was a sighting of the Motley that she was following, and then they used some sort of wayfare, and she has been unable to track them since then.
Okay. Can I use my scrying mirror to get their scent again?
Yes.
If they're still within my domain.
Absolutely.
Okay. Then I want to do that, and I want to let Zarini know where they're at so that she can get back to that.
Alaric says, "Oh, please, I will try and get a more specific reading for you, but
Yes.
And he moves to the side to consult his runes. The scrying mirror does give you an exact location for them. They are currently in the freehold of General Siri. She has not been able to prevent you from being able to tell who's there, but also you don't have any influence there currently, besides your spies."
Yeah. Okay, well, at least that's 2 problems in one location. 3 problems if you count the lake.
This page knocks on the door again. He says, I am so sorry. There's a second urgent communication.
All right, let's read it.
This one is from the Marquis Elena. And it is written very politely, very deferentially, and says, "My Lady Queen, it is my greatest displeasure to inform you that although you dispatched a emissary of your court to mine, one of my guests, for whom I had offered hospitality, claimed right of combat with him, and I was not able to prevent his decease."
I very neatly fold the letter and set it down. And inside she's like, "Why is everything falling apart? Why is nobody holding up their end?"
As far as you're aware with the Marquis Elena, it is entirely possible that what went down actually went down. And it is at least a positive sign that the Marquise is contacting you with that information and not just trying to conceal what happened.
Is the situation with the lake connected to the dark freeholds?
Alaric says, was that directed at me?
Yes, let's say it is.
He goes, I will attempt to find out for you, my lady. He says, there is something around the lake that it is connected to, but the lake itself, I see nothing.
Okay, but when he says something around the lake that is connected to the darkening freeholds?
Yes.
What is around the lake?
He says, it feels... Well, you'll excuse my dramatics, Your Majesty, but it feels like a knife when I try to touch it.
Okay. We probably never should have opened that portal. It's been nothing but trouble.
He says, my personal visions and informants tell me that the portal leaks glamour, but the Merking has had his hands full recently containing those who tried to imbibe it. It seems to create some sort of disfiguration in his subjects.
Right. So, okay, of the problems, getting the golden goose might be the easier one.
Mm-hmm.
Then I am going to send... Actually, no. Zarini, forget about the motley. It's fine. I need Zarini to go get that goddamn goose or one of its eggs.
All right. Absolutely, you can send that message to her. It'll be a lot easier for her to get the goose than it will be for her to chase after the motley.
Yeah, exactly.
Currently.
Officially speaking, the freehold still belongs to me. They never... I mean, the people in the freehold obviously don't agree because they're now unseelie. But as far as I'm concerned, that is still my domain.
It is still your domain, and it's dark now, so it's technically nobody's domain at this point.
Yes. Then I'm going to give Zarini leave to just bypass whoever is claiming it, sneak in, get the goose, and leave.
Okay.
And then get the goose to Alaric.
Okay. There is a commotion from outside, and the page does not knock on the door this time, but there's a lot of raised voices from various courtiers there that you could hear.
Right. It's fine. I'm going to sit at my desk and I'm going to write a letter.
Okay. The raised voices do not abate at any point. Alaric tries to ignore it as much as possible since you're ignoring it, so...
Do I have magic with which I could contact Suri? Is there like a chicanery effect that allows you to throw your voice all the way over there?
There should be something that could be done here, but you are also the queen of this land, so hypothetically you could make the land deliver your message to me. Actually, weirdly, I think one of the things that might be the most useful up here is using something like Willow Whisper. If you cause the trees to pass your message as fast as possible, it would actually go pretty quickly, and there will definitely be somebody in Ciri's freehold that absolutely can speak to the trees just the same as you can.
Okay, then I'm going to do that. It means I need a tree now. I need to go find a tree, right?
Yes. You need some sort of plant that has some sort of root system.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to find, and I'm going to pass whatever the commotion is.
Okay, outside there seems to be a stranger in the main audience hall. It is wearing a golden robe that covers their face entirely. Your courtiers are attempting to ascertain their bona fides, but no luck so far. They say, I must, and they are repeating, I must see the queen. And any attempt to stop them seems to be ignored.
Okay, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to pass them. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to pass them. I'm going to say, you've seen me. Sit down. and I'm going to find a tree.
Okay. The Golden Hood turns to watch you and then gracefully goes and takes a seat.
Okay. I go find a willow.
Okay. There is definitely a willow on this property. You have some of pretty much everything you could possibly need here. The willow is familiar with you. It's a fairly common way to pass messages, particularly between freeholds, that doesn't get seen very easily. And it knows you and whispers.
So I pat the bark. I say, darling, I'm in a bit of a hurry. Things have been going south, so deliver this as quickly as you can. To General Surrey, I think we have a mutual problem concerning Lake Kirin.
Okay.
Maybe we should try to fix it together. Contact me.
Okay. Excellent. I have noted that down.
Okay. And then I go back to deal with whoever the dude in gold is. Or lady in gold. Or person.
The hood shadows their face almost supernaturally the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have told them to sit down and they agree, your courtiers seem to calm down. Your troll guards are very suspicious. Your Illunid friend is watching. You can see them from the shadows.
Yes. What's her name again?
I have forgotten, so I will write that down. But she's there. You can see her.
Okay. Okay, well, I go over to the figure. Okay, let's hear it.
Says, good. I had hoped I had come in time. I see I am on the brink of missing my window.
Okay, look, if you're a wolf here to try to assassinate me, please get to it. I'm busy.
Dear one, I'm certainly not here to assassinate you, and I certainly oppose the wolf and everything it stands for.
Oh. I sit down. That's the first, because she's been standing the entire time, but then I... Right.
The figure with the golden hood finally removes it. It is another she-woman. She has golden eyes, red lips, very dark hair. Something of the spirit of fire is in her when you look at her.
Okay.
But she also does not bow to you.
Right.
She says, I apologize for the surprise visit, but we had very little time. She says, I am come to tell you that the kingdom of Jutland has fallen. Every freehold in Jutland, including the king's, has gone dark.
Jutland, where is that? Is
in the mortal world, it would be known as Denmark.
Okay.
Says, this blight on our land is all pervasive. Those with more chaos within their realm seemed more susceptible to the darkness coming. I worry about Concordia, but you can never get Concordia to agree on anything on any corner.
No, they're positively useless. I did not catch your name or house.
My name is Vanessa Apelunid.
Ah.
She says, I apologize, but I come on behalf of my masters.
And they are?
She says, it's not a name for your public audience chamber.
Okay. I dismiss everyone except my Illunet friend.
Okay. She just doesn't come out of the shadows, and Vanessa turns her head, and I'll see if Vanessa can see her. She assumes that she's alone currently.
Okay.
Says, I come from a group that I suspect you have only heard in stories, and that is largely because we have no need to invade the day-to-day life of most changelings. I serve the Council of the Undying Flame, and if you want to roll me a lore check.
Mm-hmm. What's my difficulty?
It will be, for you, actually, this will be a 6.
Oh, that's pretty good. 2, 4, 6.
Excellent. Laurel has not always been the queen of the Kingdom of Northern Ice. There was a ruler previous to this. When you took over by not nefarious means, I wouldn't say that, but he was not a good ruler by your perspective.
Yes.
And when he fell, he said that his demise had been foretold by the Council of Undying Flame. Your other knowledge of this is that it's largely a fairy story. So you didn't take it very seriously at the time, but if you believed the fairy stories, as a fairy,
Yes.
They have safeguarded the prosperity of changelings as a whole since you have left Arcadia. Mm-hmm. They are a group of, again, if you believe the stories, soothsayers.
Watchers.
Yes.
Right. So, are you here to foretell my demise?
No, I certainly hope not. I would not wish your demise in this matter, dear. I'm actually here to forestall your demise.
That would be nice. I'm very busy. Extra time would be good.
She says, I unfortunately, I know you will have matters of the court, and we don't tend to involve ourselves with petty politics. It matters very little who is in charge of any particular freehold or country at any given time, as long as we are all surviving as best we can. But the presence of the wolf means we are no longer surviving as best we can, yes. And the safeguards have fallen.
Okay, tell me about the wolf.
I dare not tell you the name of the wolf's mistress, for I might summon her.
Can you give me an anagram?
We sometimes know her as the Old Woman of the Mountain.
Does that ring a bell to me?
You can absolutely check. Again, it's still more lore.
10s count double?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2, 4. I've been running consistently 6s. Okay, so 6.
You've heard the name The Old Woman of the Mountain. You don't know the name associated with it because literally nobody would be dumb enough to try and use it.
Okay. But who is she? What does she do?
If you believe stories...
at this point, I'm super happy to believe all of them.
She is possibly the progenitor of all Fae.
Right.
She is also possibly just the hag of all Fae, too. So, multiple concepts here.
Yeah. When we say Fae, do we mean the Tuatha De Danann, or do we also mean the progenitors of the Fomorians?
She is older than the Dagda.
Okay. Okay, and the wolf works for her. Continue.
Says, well, we don't know if the wolf works for her, or is simply her tool. I cannot tell you. I can tell you that the Old Woman of the Mountain has finally broken past what we designed to keep us safe. Okay.
And is the wolf stealing the fires?
I said, I do not know. The wolf seems to act as a portent.
Right. And the lake?
Vanessa tilts her head back and forth, trying to think. There have been more than one portal like this spotted in the realm so far. It did not produce the same result in the previous example. It brought fire and a warrior. Here it seems to have brought birds.
Yes. All right. Well, you're a group of soothsayers. Where do I go to save my kingdom?
Goes, well, let's see. I do not know that we can close the portal now that it is open. It is perhaps possible that you could corner the Battle Queen.
General Surrey?
No, she goes, that's merely politics, and
Good, because
no offense to you, my lady, I don't have any particular opinion between you and Surrey.
No, I thought it would be odd. Surrey is on the opposing side, but she is not.
She is not unseelie. She is not unseelie in any respect.
Yes.
She just merely has a difference of opinion and rulership with you, which, again, you will forgive me, my lady, though I am...
People are allowed to disagree with me, yes. Okay,
completely. The Battle Queen. The Battle Queen, as long as she maintains the form of Battle Queen, will be hard to pin down. Either other form would be better.
Is the Battle Queen the same as the Lady of the Mountain?
No.
The Morrigan.
She looks around. She goes, do not speak her name. Not in your home.
Fine. Right, the Battle Queen, then, the one whose name I won't speak. Well, okay, you soothsay, give me a quest.
Goes, dismantle her army. She grows it daily. Every freehold that goes dark for you adds to her number. She goes, I know one who has been touched by her and has so far been unable to be recruited.
Okay.
Perhaps if you find out why that is, you might find a way to stop her.
Who and where?
Because it is Red Cat, by the name of Lakota.
I very calmly and carefully reach out and I push like one of those jeweled goblets like off the table. That's Lauren's version of smattering something against the wall.
Vanessa watches the goblet go and she goes, I clearly have hit a nerve.
Right. I know where to find him. Her, sorry.
She goes, that's good. We have tried to make our own inroads with those around her. You have a lady of your court named Iris.
Yes.
We attempted to cause the cup to come back to you through her. We so far have failed, but there's time yet.
Wait, the cup plays into all of this?
She goes, well, there is some sort of doom associated with the cup that we have not been able to understand nor pin down. She goes, I'm not really certain, because I know it is a tradition with your royal riots to offer a boon to the winner of that cup. I don't see that it was anything to do with your boon. It has some other purpose. I believe it's called the murder court here.
Yes.
Your murder court seems to be very concerned that whatever it is could have impacted them.
Right. Does the murder court work for the Battle Queen? I'm going to assume that's a yes, but...
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know who runs the murder court?
No, I thought I did, but my information is probably faulty at this point.
He goes, I don't have a name either. They escape us because of their patron, but I do know what they are.
Okay.
They're a crow, Puka. Funny joke. Ha ha.
Yes. Well, then I know who.
You have several. We've tried to identify them simply by their powers. It hasn't worked well.
Okay, it's fine. I will murder them all when the time comes.
As well, that's one way to solve the problem. But honestly, I am here simply because I know that your son is missing, and I know you would prefer to have this handled. And we would prefer to not allow the old woman on the mountain her way.
Yes. If I defeat the Battle Queen, do we stop the old woman on the mountain?
It certainly will give her pause.
Right.
Vanessa looks around and she goes, so I know, not because I can see it, but I know that you would not stay alone with me here. But
no, I have a friend. I would tell her anyway. I figured this would be quicker.
She goes, I need to ask you what you remember of Arcadia.
The usual.
She said,
It was nice until it wasn't.
she said, part of what makes the Undying Flame what it is that every one of the council remembers Arcadia.
Well, you've taught me enough strange things that I won't call you a liar.
She goes, we remember different things, as everyone does, but we all have a very specific memory of what happened in Arcadia. And it concerns why we left.
It was nice until it wasn't.
It was nice until it demanded that we die.
The Iron Death. Permanently?
The iron sleep of winter.
It's not an option.
That was our opinion. And if the remembrance is to be trusted, though we know it is a fickle thing, we found a way out of it for everyone by sharing mortal form. We do not know if the lack of glamour is because we disobeyed her.
Okay. I will defeat this Battle Queen for you. And when I return, I need more information about this lady on the mountain.
Because I will give you what I can. She goes, I do have one other piece of information for you, though. And it is a personal piece of information as a sign of good faith from me. Your son, the last of your line, does not remember who he is. And that's why you can't find him.
Of course. Do you know who he is?
No.
Thinks he is?
He was touched by the Battle Queen and we lost him.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We can move forward.
Goes, I must go. You can never, and I must ask a favor of you.
Okay, you've earned one.
You must never reveal that you have ever been contacted by us.
Yes, I will promise that on behalf of myself and my friend.
Excellent. And she is going to enact a contract on that.
Yep, I don't resist, so that should just work.
Okay. So, you do have that standing over you should you try and reveal that she has been there.
Yes.
She goes, then I must go. I have already been too noticeable to your court. Lie to them about who I am.
I don't need to lie. I will simply tell them that I don't wish to tell them.
Perfect.
Good. So, Lady on the Mountain,
Yes.
let me know.
I will give you any more information if we can prevent our fate. We will. And
Okay.
she covers her face again. There's obviously some sort of chicanery going here because the cloak, when it goes back up, you can't recognize her, and you don't even really know if what she showed you is really what she looks like. And she goes, then I will leave you.
Okay. Well, right. I start to summon my armies.
Your armies are actually quite large here. One of the nice things about being in Canada, despite the fact that it doesn't have a very high population, it is not particularly devoid of glamour in most respects. There's a lot of cultural hubs here. There's a lot of really beautiful locations that can inspire artists and all that. So how do you like to compose your armies?
Well, I never leave Carefrost undefended.
Okay.
But other than that, I want everybody with me.
Do you have any particular favored types of people as generals?
Probably trolls, because they make good generals.
Okay.
And Gwydians.
Okay.
And
this will at least summon one of your dukes, because
yes.
There will be at least one military duke in your... So it will actually be the duke that oversees the Marquise who sent you the letter. He will be summoned in this, and he will be returning to your court. So if you have any problems with that. The next thing I want to do and ask is, because this motley has so far escaped you. I don't think you want them leaving your territory.
No.
So something will have to be done to ensure that they cannot leave the kingdom of Northern Ice, and you have at least one noble of one of the Concordian kingdoms in that group.
I mean Iris.
No, Iris is one of yours. It is a Dougal Slua.
Mm-hmm.
And she is technically a Rockefeller family member.
Ah, that one.
Mm-hmm. And she is from Chicago.
And I don't want them going to Chicago.
Right.
Can I cheers them?
Yes. I also argue that if you put a bounty on them through the rest of your freeholds, it will prevent them from being able to pass through Canada super easily.
Yes, because right now they're at the General Story. I know where they're at. Okay.
Exactly.
I would like them to stay there.
Right. The other thing you might be able to do is negotiate with Queen Mary Elizabeth for perhaps an exchange of courtiers.
That's the Chicago Allied Queen. Yes, actually, let's do that. It would help if I can.
Okay.
Because I'm also assuming that sovereign is much easier if they're all technically my loyal subjects.
Exactly. Queen Mary Elizabeth will also be going through the same sort of issues that you are with the freeholds, maybe not to the extent that you are because you have a larger territory than she does, but she has more people to deal with.
What house is she?
Dougal.
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay, let's do that first. Let's do the backhandedness first, and then we will do the diplomacy.
You will have a secondary mirror that most monarchs will have access to communicate with one another in times of diplomacy, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Mary Elizabeth, when she appears to you, is your traditional Dougal. She is almost all mechanical because they keep losing various bits of their body every time they rank up. And Dougals, as you are aware, have absolutely no filter about anything.
Yes.
He goes, "What do you want, Laurel?"
Your Majesty, I want the Rockefeller Slua.
He goes, "Oh. See, now we have time to talk to me. I'm only on your border all the time, and we do this, once every 10 years?
You are always welcome to visit. It's not my fault that you are a house mouse.
And who supplies you with all those wonderful treasures?
Look, I'm going to level with you. How are the freeholds in your domain?
Something passes across her face, and she goes, "Fucking hell."
Yes. Okay, I have a lead on the problem, and it would help if the Rockefeller Slua is part of my court.
Yes, it's unfortunate. You'll excuse me, Your Majesty, but it'll cost you something. I can't just give her to you. She unfortunately has the power of soothsay and is useful to her duke. So if I could throw him a bone, it would be more useful to me.
Okay.
But possibly, we could work this out in a way that benefits everyone. I transfer her title to you. You don't dismiss said title. And I tell her duke she's spying on you.
And that would probably be true, so yes.
Exactly, but of course then you know that.
Yes.
Because I could also use a treasurer or two.
Well, you can contact my people.
Good.
I'll tell them to be favorably inclined, and I will transfer the title back. I don't like this scurrying, moving around with people like they're assets, but this one, I need her to remain in my kingdom.
Goes good. Then when I have a similar problem, I expect similar cooperation.
Yes.
I imagine we have... My freeholds so far have lasted better than I thought they would. But It is due to the fact that we have sacrificed not more than one treasure to keep the balefires alive.
Okay.
So it works for a little bit of time.
Yes, we've had similar problems with them going on and off.
I also think I have a Lenonchi problem.
I will leave that one to your care, but I can help with the treasures.
I understand. I'm just saying I suspect my problems with my treasures are exacerbated by that. However, I am a Dougal, and we have always been good at solving the problem this way. However, call it a sign of good faith, and I will inform her Duke of the transfer, and I will leave it up to him what to tell her.
That works.
Good.
Thank you.
Should she return to my court, what would you have me say?
Ideally, she won't be crossing the border.
Excellent. I approve of that. But if it happens...
Tell her that I am willing to make amends and meet her halfway.
Because you were always too nice. I swear, I'd just turn her over to you. I have enough trolls.
I try. I remember what it took to get where we are, and I would like to avoid a repeat.
You managed to avoid the stink of the Knight of Iron Knives. No one in Concordia has been washed of that yet.
Probably because I am too nice.
True. At least it isn't Georgia, right? Melger's always a dick.
Yes. Okay. But yes, I appreciate the cooperation, and I will send you treasures.
That was good. Then I will move on with my life. Hopefully we do this again sometime before the next decade.
Yes. Have a good day.
And she gets off.
Okay. I tell the Master of the Treasury that her people will be contacting him, and he needs to be as forthcoming as he reasonably can.
The other things that you can do vis-a-vis the Motley, because you do know who they are, and while initially it wasn't particularly practical to have to investigate too hard into them because they were just a group of nobodies who you were going to invite and get your cut back and thought, it may now be practical to find out more about them.
Yes. And I am also, now that they're all my not so loyal subjects, but I am going to try that GS to prevent them from crossing the border.
Okay. Roll me 10 dice and tell me how many successes are on it.
Okay. Okay. I need a difficulty.
It's your kingdom, so it's like a 4.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 4 is 10.
Okay. How would you like to get more information on these people? Because obviously you can contact pretty much anyone for the mundanes.
But no, this rule was specific for the Gaius.
For the Gaius, yes.
The Gaius, I don't want them to leave my kingdom. But I don't care where they go, what they do, who they murder. They cannot leave.
Okay. I will write that down. All right.
I want them inside my borders.
They're all relatively open books in terms of their previous history. So it's not, you don't have anybody here who has...
Don't I have someone in my court who is friends with Iris?
Yes, you do. Her name is Cresta.
Yeah, exactly. It's time for Cresta to tell me everything she knows.
Summoning Cressida to the court, as far as you know, she's always been a light of the party. She's a Fiona. She's, generally pretty happy person. Mm-hmm. She's always been super loyal. She looks a little concerned to be summoned by you, honestly. She goes, hi, my lady. And she curtsies.
Sit down. Tea?
Sure. Thank you. Have I done something wrong?
No. I'm going to be honest with you. Your friend, Lady Iris.
She goes, oh yeah, she's been acting really weird. I've been kind of worried about her.
She has. She she's in a fair bit of trouble, but nothing that she can't get out of. But I am trying to better understand why she's doing what she's doing.
She goes, my lady, I've been trying to understand the same thing. We hung out at the Royal Riot, which was a wonderful party until it wasn't, but you were doing a great job. But, like, we went to a party. She was having a great time. We met all kinds of people. She's not, like, please forgive me when I say these things, but, like, she maybe not, like, the most politically aware person. I mean, I know she was taught, because we all were, but, like, she mostly just liked hanging out with us and the status. And her father's, like, her mortal father, you know, before the chrysalis thing, is some sort of, like, transportation magnate. So she has more money than God when she's, like, in the mortal world, and she's never done much with it. She has a troll bodyguard who is really, really fucking cute, but, you know, that's a different problem.
Okay. Do you have her father's name for me?
She'll give it to you.
Okay. What about the troll's name?
She calls him Corey. I think it's Cormac, though.
Okay. Do you have telephone numbers for any of them?
Oh yeah, I have. Is she in trouble? Did
They're all in trouble. I'm trying to stop them before they dig themselves into deep.
Oh, okay. She gets out her phone, which is kind of weird here, but, like, she goes, here's her number. I mean, we've been texting on and off. I mean, I can try and contact her for you, but every time I've contacted her, like, in the last couple of weeks or so, she's said she's out traveling with friends, and, you know, I was pretty certain I was her friend, and I'm not with her, so that's weird.
Yeah. So, Laurel does have a phone. She just never uses it. Like, I have willows and scrying mirrors, but I do have one. So I copy the number.
Okay. She goes, also, I know that, like, she's always been sort of, like, well, forgive me, because she's my friend, right? Like, so I don't want to shit talk my friend, but, like, she's always been kind of, like, disapproved of by her family. She's always trying to, like, get in good with them, and her dad is kind of a dick, not gonna lie.
Okay.
But also, like, she really loves them and would do almost anything for them, so, you know.
Okay. Does she have any siblings?
I don't think so. And honestly, like, when she went through her chrysalis and everything, it kind of separated her to some extent because, I mean, a whole different society to live in.
Yes, okay. Well, thank you so much. I would appreciate it if you don't tell anyone, including Iris, that we've had this talk.
Okay. She also has a mentor, too. I know they don't always talk, but I know she's part of the court here, too. So if you want to contact her.
Yes. Who's the mentor?
My brain is dying, but I'll give you the name.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to dismiss Lady Cresta. I'm going to move an assassin towards the parents to observe.
Okay.
Please don't murder anyone.
Okay.
At this point. But I'm going to try to do the same for all of them. Like, who are their families, who are their friends, and then when I know, I send someone.
Okay. Cormac is a delivery person of questionable deliveries. They're not all illegal. He is
illegal adjacent.
Yes, exactly. He has clearly some history in changeling society. Anybody you talk to who's a changeling who's met him says he's really, really fucking done with contracts in general, which you can imagine for a grump troll. He has a son who's 8 or 9 and an ex, and the son lives with the ex.
Okay.
Let me see. Lakoko.
How old is the son?
8 or 9.
That's off limits. Do I have anything else that I can leverage? Maybe he still cares about the ex.
As far as you know, the ex and he are on bad terms. He is a very sad dad, so the son is his big leverage point.
Okay, I do send someone. I give explicit instructions that the son is not to be harmed.
Okay. In all of these cases, I will point out as a storyteller, you could enchant the mortals and bring them to your court and just have them around.
Yeah, but I'm about to leave Carefrost.
So I'm just saying that is an optional way to have control of them without hurting them.
No, for now. But it might actually help if, in addition to an assassin, I sent someone who can just be social. So I sent them in teams of 2.
I definitely think that a small fuzzy puka with the calming presence merit would be the kind of thing a kid might react to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Something like a Cluricon might work on Iris's parents because can insult you and drink with you in the same breath.
Yeah, exactly. So I want somebody with the leverage, like actively present with them physically, so become their best friend or their pet or whatever it takes.
Okay.
And at this point, we're in a holding pattern.
Right. And then I'm just going to go down the list. Gray is part of a band. The band is actually within your borders currently.
I book them a gig.
Okay.
I hire them for something.
All right.
Like a festival where they'll be staying for a couple of days.
The hardest one is Lakota, because Lakoka's been a drifter most of her life. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't have a whole lot of ties to tie her down. You doing some research, though, you do find out that Lakoka, the reason Unknown was so delighted to be part of this tracking down expedition of this is Lakoka murdered Unknown's sibling. Admittedly, not final death, but when she went through her chrysalis, she had been being chased by Unknown's sibling who was going through a chupacabra phase in their life.
Yes.
And and Emil is a blacksmith who usually lives in the States but is not affiliated with any particular court. Does have a job there, not super connected beyond that.
Okay, no family.
No.
Okay, well then it's mostly Iris and Corey and Ray. Okay. Has the general gotten back to me yet?
Yes, your Gwydion general arrives. His name is... Let's call him Fenrir.
Okay. What about the other generals? Sorry.
She has not gotten back to you, and the reason that is because I have her booked for a scene.
So once my army is ready to go, I'm going to send another Willow message to Suri.
Okay.
General, you haven't replied. That's your prerogative. I'm coming. I'm coming with an army, but I'm coming in peace.
Okay.
We have a communal problem. I would like to stop it. I will do it with you, or I will do it without you, but I will stop it. And I'd appreciate it if you get out of my way while I do it. And when that's done, you and I will sit down and we'll talk about this rebellion of yours. You said you wanted to pin me down. So that is my offer. You and I will sit down, but I have business to take care of first.
You do get a message back to this, and it says, I'm not afraid of your army, but we should talk.
Yes, that was my point. Oh my God, Colin. I don't say that to the Willow. I just...
Because I know this character would want to talk before an army showed up on her doorstep.
All right. I'm going to take the army, but I'll move ahead sufficiently that she's not...
You could definitely house your army with the local duke if you want to.
Yes. Well, I want them as close to the lake as I can get them.
Trying to think here. So your local duke for Lake Huron in this particular case, there's several access points. If you're going to be as close to Siri as possible, you're going to be in Ontario. You're going to be with the Duke of White Trillium. He's also a Dougal. There's a lot of population, though, in Ontario, and Huron's only about 4 hours away from the major seat of the Duke.
Okay. I am going to telephone Lady Iris, and I know that's going to be tricky because that player isn't here.
I will say it goes to voicemail because I suspect
Yes,
she will
exactly.
forget.
Yes. Lady Iris? Okay. I have very big problems at the moment, and you are an infinitesimally small part of them. I would like to arrange a meeting between you and me and your motley, and I am willing to make assurances to your safety during the meeting.
Okay.
This was... You're at the end of my patience. Take the deal. I hang up.
Okay. I will let you know what that player says to that.
Yes.
And with that, I think we've done everything that it is possible to do.
Yes.
Thank you so much for reprising this role with me. I love you as Laurel. You're an excellent player for it. And as always, I am Spectre Alafet. We will be doing several of these epilogues because a bunch of my players have said they want to do things at the downtime, so it'll be great. Hopefully we will see Steffi again in season 2, which will be very dramatic at this rate. And I love you all, and I'm going to let Steffi reintroduce herself for anybody who missed it at the beginning.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. Again, I'm Steffi. I'm a freelance writer for Chains of the Dreaming and several other White Wolf World of Darkness titles, and I was very happy to be here.
And as always, you can catch up with us on YouTube at Archives of the Dragon. You can follow the show on Twitter at Arc of the Dragon. I'm Spectre Alafet on most social media, and you can join our Discord, which will be in the chat. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye!
Don't be fooled by them. Last year's experimental piece, Silence, was hotly debated. Is nothing. Art. It's always something with ergo sum. we still haven't forgotten their performance at the 173rd Star Rivals, where they toppled 3 mining systems before they even left the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, they're hoping to reclaim that former glory. Lawful Evil has promised us a new and even more exciting VR improv experience. We still aren't over our favorite NPC dying, and now with their latest triple star game, can they carry on that magic with Black Hole Endless Suck? And everyone's favorite, everyone's most sparkly, everyone's best policy platform, Baby Genius! We know you love to hate them and hate to love them, but we know that they have an exciting performance for you. And this year, they've merged with the performance group Aesthetic, TM, so we're excited to see what they bring out. As always with Star Rivals, you can expect excitement, drama, swords, lesbians, and everything in between. So, buckle in, get ready to vote for our new Galactic Government! And remember, only you can make it demo crazy.